want you to take a second to think about a time where you allowed your emotions to dictate your actions. And it didn't turn out the way that you would want it to turn out, because emotional responses aren't always in our favor. The impulse that arises, that trigger we get to act, to react, it oftentimes sabotages us. And if we don't take the time to really step back and take a bird's eye view of it, then we end up falling victim to our very emotions that were designed to actually be something that we wield, a kind of tool of great power, free energy used to not to derail our lives or sabotage our lives, but to be changed into a weapon that we can harness energy into. I had a time where, several times as a matter of fact, before I became more emotionally resilient, emotionally in control. And still, there's challenges. I'm in the process of growing, but there were times where I was driving behind the wheel and somebody did something crazy. Somebody provoked me in some way. At the time, I just felt the emotional impulse arise, and I said, okay, that's how you want to do it? Fine. So I would do some ridiculous stuff back. I start speeding. I find a way to get in front of them, and if I can't get in front of them, then I'm driving at the right angle to where, if it's nighttime, I can turn on the brights and flash it right into their side view mirror. If I can't get in front of them, then I'm laying on the brakes and slowing down well below the speed limit. There's been several cases where that could have led to something far worse than somebody flipping me off. I had one instance, and you would have thought that I would have stopped doing this afterwards, but I was driving from some location, North Carolina perhaps, heading back to Indiana. And it was nighttime. We're on the freeway, steadily driving, and I don't know what provoked me to be like this, but I think the guy did something to provoke me. That's one thing that I can say, at least for sure, that I didn't know. I wasn't just a jerk for no reason. So I went to my methods. I lay on the brakes in front of this guy, slow him down, make him drive slower than he wants to. And then when he tries to switch lanes, I switch lanes, get in front of him. This seemed to backfire shortly after these moments, as his car was faster than mine. He saw an opportunity, a window, to get on the gas and then get in front of me. And now it's my turn to have a taste of my own medicine. But you know what? He didn't do it the same way that I did. This guy got in front of me, and it's like he pulled the handbrake. He was nearly stopped on the freeway, and I was going well over 70 miles per hour, to say the least. I had to dodge this guy within a split second because I realized what happened. I literally was, and the guy in my passenger seat flew against the side door. But I say all of this to say that our emotions, if we don't train ourselves to operate differently, then it could go as far as life-threatening emotional responses. Most of the population of people in the prisons there, people who couldn't control their emotions. So it all begins with a reframe in our mind. Everything starts with an awareness, but the awareness is within this reframe that we adopt. And that reframe is every time we have that emotional impulse, the reactive response inside of us, because we can't stop it necessarily. There's Emotion's always there. We can't live life without them. Whenever this happens, we have to tell ourselves, this is emotional resilience training. This is building my ability, or at least it's an opportunity to build my ability to become stronger emotionally. And if I don't give in to my impulses, if I don't allow this emotion to dictate my actions, I win. Even if it doesn't feel like we win, that's how it happens. That's how it's typically going to happen in every bit of process that we endure. It doesn't feel like we're winning most of the time. But then we realize, after a continuous cycle of doing the same thing, of executing on the thing that doesn't feel like it's working, we look back and we're like, man, okay, I'm totally different. I used to be an avid video gamer, playing for hours upon hours per day. And I was the kind of guy who would be screaming at people, cussing them out over the mic, doing absurd things that I wouldn't do today. People who know me back then, it's like I'm a different person. I couldn't see myself yelling because of a video game again. But it took me going through the process of training myself to have a different kind of response. Every time we don't give in to those emotions, it leads into the second thing we must do, and we have to document. Some way, somehow, my favorite way to do it is journaling. Whenever I have that emotion that comes up that tries to take over, I'm heading to the journal if I can. I always have the journal on me in my backpack, so it's easy to just pull it out. And this is what I mentioned in another video, making the good habits that we want to instill easier to do. I pull out that journal and I document. I'm labeling the emotion. I'm understanding the source. I'm asking myself, how can I overcome this? Or what is this building in me? What is the point of this? And then I document the fact that I'm not falling into the emotional impulse that comes up. I don't have to deal with that. If we do this and we stay on the track for long enough, then eventually we'll realize I don't react the same way as I used to, for one, but it's also easier to step back and analyze situations. It's also easier to stay in the driver's seat, and the emotions, they become like background noise that eventually we don't even realize anymore. It's just there, but it's unacknowledged. So, in what way could becoming more emotionally resilient, in what way could having control of our emotions, in what way could that impact our lives, your life, in a positive way? Whatever reason you come up with, use that as inspiration, especially in those moments where the emotion strikes, the emotion becomes overwhelming. It's like, you know what? This is emotional training, and I'm not gonna fall for you. I'm in control here. And every time I allow myself to take action on taking a step back, every time I don't listen to you, I get stronger.